ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Tiemann. This is the award-winning Fan Show. Have we got a great one tonight? Have I got a good one right now? I don't know how long they've been out, because they seem to do this stuff all the time, right? But nonetheless, yes, you hear it. I hear it. You smell it. You taste it. So Oreo, right? Love it. Oreos are one of the best cookies ever. Maybe the best cookie ever. Other than, like, of course, chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, no-bake oatmeal cookies. Yeah, okay. We're going down a path here that could take a while. So I'll get right to the point. At the grocery store the other day, and I come across the cookie section, and as a fat kid who loves delicious things, I'm just like, okay, so I gotta say, Eddie Stone, you're a jerk for this. Eddie Stone of the Spokane Wolfpack was eating Oreos after practice. I hadn't even thought of Oreos for months, right? Like, you only think of it when it comes across, and we don't shop down, like, the cookie and chip aisle anymore. Like, we try to avoid it. So the only reason I'm in that aisle is because Eddie Stone was eating Oreos after practice that day. So I look, and I see Oreo. You got the regular, you got the double stuff. You got the what? The white ones, the vanilla shells, the thins, the Oreo thins. And then you've got Cinnabon, which, whatever. But then, birthday cake. Birthday cake Oreos are out there. I don't know how long. I don't know who didn't tell me about this. It's probably best thing that you didn't if they've been out for a while, because I'd probably be beyond recovery. Point of no return. And I understand that, but oh my goodness. I bought, is this a box, technically? Is it a tray, a bag? It's like a combination of all three. So I bought a tray of Oreo cookies, one of the full three column things, and oh man. Oh, they're so good. Oh, I can't stop. I can't. So, that's where I'm at. Like, you can't even do the whole take one side off and eat the cream out and then put the thing back and eat it that way. Like, you just got to enjoy this thing as a whole. Like, there's no playing around with it. Like that whole debate about stringing your cheese or not. Look, I ain't got time to do, like, I'll dunk it if I get around to it, but I'm not going to play around with this. Like, it's too good to let sit not in my mouth and in my stomach any longer. And I realized this Thursday episode's off to a fantastic start. There's probably some of you out there that are just like, what are we talking about right now? For those of you tuning in, right now it is the Thursday episode, the last episode of the week, and we've got a great one. And I mean that in every sense of the word. We have a fantastic show. And we're going to get rolling with it here in about 5 minutes, because we've got not one, not two, but three special guests. The third one is a surprise guest, and I cannot wait to have this individual on, just because I geeked out a little bit when I was just like, do you want to be on the show? And they're like, do you want me to be on the show? Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. So yeah. And then we've got a debut, we've got a return, and then we've got a surprise guest. So I'm very excited for tonight. Bryan Hicks making his debut, Green Bay Blizzard quarterback. Wish it was on better terms. Tried to pull it off last week. Couldn't do it after the win, but he was in high spirits. Great conversation. Pre-recorded, so not live. The show is broadcasting live right now, though. Returning to the show, the beast from the East, Boston's own Nick Haag of the Massachusetts Pirates stopped by. We pre-recorded that last night. There's only a few handful of interviews that I've done that, happy or sad, at the end of it will leave you a little choked up, just because, like, that's the relationship that you've built with that person. Nick Haag is one of those guys. We got to talking. I try to keep these segments 10 to 15 minutes. We went damn near 20. And we were just talking. We were just having a good time, you know? And, yeah, he's a great guy. You know that. And then the surprise guest coming up. Very excited about that. BattleBots tomorrow night, episode 2 of season 3. We've got a brand new fight card. Let me see if I can find it here. But you know what? Let's do this the right way. If we're going to do it right, we're going to do it right. So that will take us to the headlines. And headlines, of course, are brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises. Hit up Dynamite Enterprises by visiting dynamiteenterprises.com. Ask for Ethan. Tell them the Fan Show sent you. They will customize your world. And they mean that in every sense of the fact. It's just, they are so good at what they do. They're constantly doing stuff. I follow them on Instagram. There's always a video or a photo being posted every day of all the new stuff, new cool stuff that they're doing with their different machines. If you can dream it, you can do it, you can envision it, you can put your logo or artwork on it. Everything from custom embroidery, screen print, you want coasters, shirts, hats, foam fingers. I mean, pens, everything that you want done, they can do it. I don't know, if you want it tattooed, there's probably a place for that is not Dynamite Enterprises, but I wouldn't put it past them. So you need to go and hit up Dynamite Enterprises because they're going to help customize your world. And Ethan is ready to work with you. He's worked with me. He's been fantastic about it. I'm ready to get another batch of shirts tomorrow. Send those out to some lucky members of Fan Nation, including Shane Merriman, who won the bet. We had a WrestleMania bet before WrestleMania. And, yep, he won. Or was it the one before that? I don't know. It was WrestleMania or one of them. And we got Money in the Bank coming up, which, can I just say, my dream Money in the Bank scenario is not somebody that cashes in on a defenseless person. They don't even necessarily have to call their shot. And I know I'm a huge Miz fan. You guys know that I've said this before, but I think my ideal cash-in right now, after seeing what we've seen already for cash-ins, would be if someone won it, and I'm thinking that with this storyline, it would have to be The Miz, so follow me on this. So The Miz wins, right? And he's already felt like the man is against him, that Vince McMahon is against him. He's being left off of WrestleMania programs and posters, right? He's not getting the marquee matchup, so he wins the Money in the Bank. But you keep the man down, you keep The Miz down, right? He keeps winning, but it's against like subpar talent, and he keeps fighting his way. And every time he's like in a title potential number one contendership match, you know, position to be in, he gets screwed out of that match. So he wins, and then loses last minute. So he gets frustrated, he gets mad. SummerSlam rolls around, biggest party of the summer. He's not even booked for SummerSlam, right? Like he had his last chance and they didn't get it. Well, then you have WWE Championship match. And I don't know if that's AJ versus Shinsuke or what. But you have them come out, okay? The challenger. The champion comes out. Right before the bell dings, you hit his music, and he's like, you guys thought that you were going to keep me off SummerSlam? No, not this time. I'm cashing in now. Becomes a triple threat match. Crowd goes nuts. I'd love it. I really would. I think that would be like the best way to cash in that we haven't seen cashed in yet. He could even do it at the top of the show to give, but I think if you do it that last moment before the match starts, I think that would be awesome. So that's my ideal cash-in. That's my little rant about WWE. But back to BattleBots, okay? So we've got episode 2 tomorrow night on the Discovery Channel. Fight card is as follows. You have Endgame versus Captain Shredderator, and that is a mean bot, Captain Shredderator, I tell you what. Next match, Red Devil versus Brutus. Rotator versus Petunia, the Kenny Florian bot, if you if you had a chance to talk to Chris Rose like I did down at the tapings. Vanquish versus Ice Wave in your main event. Yeti versus Witch Doctor. And those are some great matchups, I can tell you right now. No Battle Royals, no Royal Rumbles or whatever, no triple threats, no Fatal 4-Ways. This is just straight up bot versus bot. Very excited to see how this fight card pans out, and we'll have a whole new probably weekly top 10 for you next week. But yeah, season 3 episode 2 tomorrow night on the Discovery Channel. Check your local listings, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And then, of course, we have Spokane Wolfpack football. This Saturday, kickoff is 5 Pacific. If you're in the Spokane area, I encourage you to come out. And we've got a little thing happening in Seattle tomorrow night, but we're going to talk about that at the end of the show. That's what you call a tease right there. So, with that, we are going to go to... let me check the headlines around the rest of the world of sports, because I'm stupid like that. Hockey playoffs. I know there was a game last night, so let's see, or there might have been a couple. Let's see where the playoffs are right now. So we have the final for the East and the West. It's the Jets, it's the Golden Knights, it's the Lightning, it's the Capitals right now. Capitals lead the series over Lightning 2-1. And after last night's victory, the Knights now lead the series over Winnipeg. The Jets 2-1 as well. That is going to shape up to be some great hockey. And like I said, I'm normally a hockey fan. This is my first go, and it did not point. Then we've got indoor football, National Arena League, well, the Indoor Football League. And that's going to be a great match as well. Let's go ahead and get through these matchups that know what exactly going on. I don't see to the end. I don't run out of time. So, the 18th, tomorrow, we have 2 games. Green Bay Blizzard are on the road. Breca, the Danger, get revenge against Green Bay after Green Bay, their only win of the season. They also have the Storm versus Cedar Rapids. Titans looking to their losing streak. They currently have the same amount of win as Green Bay and only win over Green Bay. So, 7 Central, that'll be 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern for both those games. And then on Sunday, the Irons versus Arizona. Just got saying the highly anticipated rematch from week 2 of the IFL when Iowa hosted the Rattlers and gave them their only loss of the season. Oh, it's going to be such a great game. It's going to be such a good game. Oh, can't wait. I'll be blocking out my schedule and tuning into that fantastic event right there. Let's check the National Arena League. In that area, we have... Come on. If my internet would like to cooperate, that would be fantastic. If I had anything going on. Come on. All right, so we'll get to that a little bit. Speaking for the loads. We've got Bryan Hicks, my interview with Green Bay Blizzard quarterback, and that starts right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now, his debut on the F.A.N. show is the member of the Green Bay Blizzard, Bryan Hicks. Doing, Bryan?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good, man. I wish this was last week. It would have been on better terms. You guys got your first win, or your first one in the win column, and then Arizona had to come to town and do what Arizona does. But hey, it's a sign of progress. You guys have gone through a lot of adversity this season. You weren't even the quarterback starting out. Like, if you had to sum up Green Bay's 2018 campaign, like, what would your description of it be?
Description of it, it's been telling. It's been trying as well. There's been a lot of adversity. But it's kind of brought us together as a team and shown us a lot about ourselves, and just as a team that we really have to complete that week this week with the teams in this. You can't really take a week off or be satisfied with anything. So it's definitely been trying, but I think we're continuing to grow and get better.
Where were you when you got the call to come into Green Bay and possibly be their quarterback?
I was with the Quad City Steamwheelers. CI started the season out there. Wasn't playing much. They had another really good quarterback. E.J. Hilliard's having a really good year. So just really wasn't getting much happen. Just wanted to go get playing time somewhere, and they came calling. It just kind of worked out perfectly.
Was there any hesitation on your end? Because I know that any time that there's change, especially a major one, it can maybe not necessarily like sour the potential, but just sort of take away what would have been like a selling point. A lot of the guys really liked Coach Chris Williams, but now we've got Corey Robertson in there, who I think is the next best guy for the job. He's already got a win under his belt, and still the rest of this is to go. But are you concerned about going up to a place that had already experienced a lot of turnover?
Not really. I kind of viewed that as positive. I kind of came in something that was kind of changing instead of come to something that's already set, me trying to find my piece in there, if that makes sense. So being able to implement myself into something that's already in the process of changing and just trying to be a part of it, kind of made my decision a little easier, if that makes sense.
Well, it certainly seems the right decision. You got Player of the Week on a couple of weeks ago, and that's great. You guys got your first win of the season, and your upcoming schedule doesn't get any easier, but you guys will have another rematch with the Cedar Rapids Titans, since you guys had to postpone that one about a month ago. But as of right now, there's only 6 teams in this league. It seems like a 3 or 4 team race. Like, what are you looking to get out of the season?
Well, just experience. Just take my game and just improve the quarterback. Getting that experience and getting that film and trying to win football games. And as a team, we mathematically and realistically have a good shot at surprising so making the playoffs. As crazy as that sounds. So we're just taking it week by week, but we see the bigger picture in that we really can, if we put it together at the right time, shock a lot of people. So we do have stuff we're working toward as a team as well.
Yeah, and I don't mean to count you guys out early. I know that
I know.
the words, mathematically eliminated are so terrible.
Yeah.
We hear it in sports all the time, there's always a chance, there's always hope, and I like that you guys are playing with that hope, and with that, there's a chance for you guys to get in there. And obviously, I don't know what's going on with Nebraska. I really don't. I've watched some of the film from the games, and I can't quite put my finger on it. What's been the cause of the recent decline? But obviously, that number 4 seed very much if you guys are able to put it together with these next weeks. It's going to be important games for you guys. But tell me a little bit about, you mentioned coming from Quad City, which is a sort of resurrect team. In my mind, I haven't been there, but from what I've been told, very much to have ball back. They're kind of, Green Bay, CIF in regards to football town. Is that what your interpretation of Quad City is?
Yeah, it was honestly awesome there. That was one of the guys was a hard part to just because the town so into it. Like you were really the top guy, and like you were an NFL player. They treat us. I played 3-4 games. Every game was 8,000 people packed. You'd go to restaurants, would recognize you. Kind of. So definitely love it. And they're playing really well, on a roll. Sure, they have success. It'll continue to get better.
You guys have some great weapons there on offense, a couple of really good wide receivers, and it looks like you've built some excellent rapport, especially during Star Wars night. You and some of the guys having a lightsaber battle after the end zone. I mean, coming from a big football town with a team that's back in Quad City, going to Titletown in Green Bay, they love football in all shapes and forms, but you finally get that first win. Like, was there any weight lifted on the shoulders or any kind of elation? Like, what was the feeling that whole game, and then finally when the clock hit 0-0?
It was honestly perfect. It was my first game too. It was just kind of honestly just everything clicked at the beginning. A really good crowd, and we played well. Fans, you could tell they had a great time. After the games, they're coming up to me, really excited about the future, and just excited seeing us playing well. So yeah, definitely same level as Quad City. The fans here, everybody knows about Green Bay, and it shows Lizard too.
What was your experience with Green Bay? You've been there before, and then what do you think about the town as far as being a football player in Green Bay?
Yeah, so I'm from Texas, so I'm way down south. So I haven't really been too far north. My first time in Green Bay. It's a little smaller than I expected. Kind of like a little small country town feel. Definitely sports are king. I'm from Houston, and we have big clubs and stuff like that. But here you don't see clubs. You always see sports bars. So everything kind of has stuff to do with sports, and then there's just Packers stuff everywhere. So you can definitely feel the Titletown atmosphere and love for football and just sports in general.
Now, being from Texas, were you a Cowboys or a Texans guy?
No, I'm from Houston. We don't like the Cowboys. We're big Texans people. Yeah, we do not like them.
So you and Packer fans probably have one thing in common, where you both dislike Cowboys, so they probably welcome you just fine.
Exactly. Yeah. I like watching Aaron Rodgers a lot too. So I'm semi-Packers fan. I can fit in.
Have you interacted with any of the Packers players being right there across the way from their facility?
So, crazy. That's crazy because a couple of days ago, Mason Crosby texted me. He's actually from Georgetown, Texas, where I went to school at the city of Flint College. And so he always comes around Georgetown now. He's in new camps there. He would come to our practice. He knows our head coach pretty well. So our head coach reached to him my number, and he texted me the other day asking if we'd meet up for lunch. And Georgetown guys got to stick together. So yeah, I'll be seeing him soon.
Wow, Mason Ice in his Vince Crosby texting you the blue.
Yeah. I was going to text him back and ask him if Aaron was free, but I don't know if that's appropriate.
I think it's got to be one of those things where you have the lunch first. And hey, man, anything I can do to advance my career, I love it helps.
Exactly.
So if Aaron's got a minute, you don't make it seem like that's the whole point of the
Exactly.
Because I've done that before.
Maybe if Aaron's free, he can swing by just for 5 minutes. We'll see. Something like that.
I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. Like whenever I have somebody of certain caliber on my show, and I know that they're in direct contact with somebody else that I've been trying to get on my show, I will do the segment with them, and then when I'm thanking them, I'll thank them, and then maybe a bit later I'll be like, hey, by the way, and I'll throw it in there. And it's tough. It is, because you don't want to ever feel you're using somebody, and you don't want them to feel used.
Exactly. I'm sure he gets that all the time. People asking about Aaron, or hey, next talk to Aaron, look at Aaron, stuff like that. So I don't think like that.
Yeah, but quarterback, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 2 quarterbacks in Green Bay. We talk things out. We have our Green Bay quarterback.
When you got the call from Coach Corey Robertson, what was the conversation like, and what was the selling point for you?
The main thing for me was just opportunity to get on the field. I traveled far away from my family, left the job, so I didn't want to be somewhere where I wasn't playing. I was waiting on something to change. That makes sense. So the opportunity to get on the field, regardless of the situation, was a big selling point for me. And he was straightforward from the jump, was really, really big for me. He just laid it out there. He said, "You're the only guy right now. I'm going to bring guys in to try and beat you." And that's the way it's just honesty in this game is really big for me. So a lot of places, sometimes people will tell you things they won't follow through. And so his main point was selling that you're going to be and he's going to put faith in me and let me compete for a job.
Do you feel like you earn at the start spot? Like, are you the kind of person that when you go to a team, like you want to be the guy, you don't want to just like help the team, like you want to be out there every snap?
Yeah, obviously that's everybody going to it. I think is just going every day and focusing on what I control. Just focusing on being the best quarterback and I can. And if that directs me to be high, it's great. And if they like better than me, then that's fine. But anything really, I've learned throughout because I've been a lot of quarterback battles, a lot of adversity and back and forth. So I learned that the only way you can really handle it is just focus on you, focus on being the best you can be, and doing everything in your power to be the best you can be. Everything else will set up the way it's supposed to.
You know, it's funny you said though, like about that's everybody's goal. Because I'll be honest with you though, I mean, luckily for me, the majority of the guys I've talked to, they want to be the best. You know, it's like having a great game isn't good enough. Like they want to chip or that opportunity at the next level. But there are guys I know because I've talked to them that they're just having a roster spot, and that's probably why they just have a roster spot.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. I mean, if I was in the NFL and getting paid $100,000, I would be okay with anything. But at this level, definitely you want to be out there. And you want to be top level, and some of the best on the team, best league.
I don't know if you know him like Mason Crosby, but have you had any contact with Dylan Favre at all?
Dylan Favre, no, I have not. But I've heard that he played in indoor a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he played for Cedar Rapids, and the only reason that I bring that up is because you're in Green Bay, where Favre played, and he's a quarterback from the indoor league, so maybe he's one of those guys to touch base with. But
no.
Well, certainly something that you may want to think about in the future. Is always a fun chat as far as back play and whatnot. But so move forward for the rest of the season. You guys have another tough matchup coming up the weekend, and it's one game at a time mentality. You guys are king of player speak, when it comes to questions that I ask. But you guys are in a rematch against Nebraska. Obviously, your guys' only win this season. Nebraska looking to right whatever's going wrong with the ship. And then you guys after that will be on the road again against Iowa, home against the Storm. So I don't know if there's a tougher schedule that you could ask for as far as trying to get back to winning ways. But how are you guys approaching the remaining season now?
That's kind of how the league is. There's only 6 teams and 4 or 5 of them are really, really good. You're gonna see them week in and week out, and so you really can't last week. You can't take one day a week, or you're gonna get dumped because teams are really good and teams really fun every week. But we're not viewing it every week as our playoffs already are. If we don't win, we're done and we're gonna play for the rest of the season. So we're not viewing it as a playoff start now. We got our win our way in. So what happens.
You've had a chance to play the reigning champion Illinois Rivers. If you could pick out one thing that you feel they do better than anybody else in the league, but what would you say it is that you've had that one-on-one experience with?
Defensively or just as a team?
Just as a team, as a whole.
As a team, I mean, they're just obviously just well-oiled machine. They're really well coached, and there's a lot of guys over there that's been playing for a long time, and so they really don't make those mistakes. They don't leave people open. They're always in the right spot, and they get out across the board. You really got to get every game because they're not handed to you.
Yeah, no, they are. One of the best at making adjustments, game prep, and really making you win the battle in the trenches. I remember the first game of the season against the Storm, man, that was just bruised in the back. But hey, man, you got any football left, and I want to thank you for taking the to be on the show. What's the after football life like for Bryan Hicks?
After football, I'm kind of in full thought. I'm kind of at the same time. I want to coach after football. I want to be a coordinator at college, high school, level, kind of goals. And so last year I was private school at a private school in Texas. I was out of middle school. In addition, going to move up to high school, coordinator in school where it's a private school. So I don't. And this is if you coach at a public school, you also have to teach. So it's a full-time job. Oh, wow. Private school is you only coach the fun. My spring's open to be able to go play if I want. So I'm kind of pursuing that career. I'm also kind of doing my playing career as well. So I like how I do both at the same time instead of putting my long-term career hold.
You think Texas, A&M, or TCU?
I grew up in A&M, but I mean, I'll go anywhere that'll take. I grew up big A&M, but by the time I'm not picky at all. Anyway, I'll go to UTEP. I don't care. Anyway.
Hey, fair enough, man. But again, I think that you guys are on the right track. I'm excited to see what the rest of the season holds for Green Bay, and I like to be there in June, so next month, and it'll be great to meet you and see the rest of the guys. But going off of our conversation from earlier, Mason Crosby. And I have never had a current NFL player on the show. I've had former NFL players, Al Wilson, Ray Allen, and a few others. But for current, when I met myself as a 49ers fan, the first current NFL player that I had on the show had to be a 49er. So if you are missing anybody in the 49ers that's going to give me 10 minutes on the show, you let me know. Because then from there, the door is open. I have Mason on the show. I got to set that rule. I got to be true to myself.
So you're a fan?
I am.
Looking pretty next year.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I really am. But you're looking good, too. You got the honey badger. Yeah, you guys honey badger now, so that'll be fun.
Just got to stay healthy.
That's so you stay healthy, and you've been hard to the rest of the guys. I say hello, but hey, man, thanks for taking time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Take care. And again, that was Bryan Hicks of the Green Bay. They're taking a little time to be on the F.A.N show. Great conversation with him. Hope to talk to him again. So hopefully after a win next time. That'd be nice, right? But speaking that are not interested in co-working, because Praxis is a nice little setup in Spokane. They're the newest co-working base in Spokane area. So you find yourself in the Spokane area, they have a space for you. And that space, they value diversity, inclusion, and a sense of community. At Praxis, they want to celebrate entrepreneurs. F.A.N Show 2018 Entrepreneur Award winner for Best Media. Okay, I know what it means when these guys say we want to celebrate you, because they're going to put on little soirees, little parties, events like that, and you're going to have a good time. You're going to network. You're going to meet a lot of really fantastic people. But they want to collaborate together. They want to help each other out because they want to create the best work environment of your life. They're located downtown Spokane on the 4th floor of the Holly Mason Building, 157 South Howard Street, Spokane, Washington, 99201. And their lease is for a space that is 3,500 square feet, equipped with a small kitchenette, conference room, small office, large open area, and there are excellent parking options, coffee shop in the bottom of the building, and the space is only a 9-minute walk from Riverfront Park. $275 a month, that's all they're asking. What they're offering is a month-to-month membership or discounted memberships for longer-term commitments. I believe they have a 3-month one right now, but the membership to Praxis includes a personal desk, access to all the recreational and business amenities, a key, Wi-Fi, use of the private rooms as they are available. However, there are no hidden fees, no conference room fees, no limited amount of minutes that you can spend in certain areas. $275 gets you everything that Praxis has to offer. What they're offering is a place that you can truly be yourself at work and enjoy working. You can contact Robbie with an I, at 509-220-0817, or email this fantastic individual, Robbie, R-O-B-B-I, at praxiscoworking.com. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter, and check out their website, praxiscoworking.com. Be yourself at work. And that will bring us to the next interview of the night, the one I'm probably the second most excited about, because we've got a surprise interview that I'm really excited about, but this one's just as good. Enjoy Nick Haag. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now is a man who, well, we'll see if he takes over this show as well like he did last time he was in Spokane, but he is the man, the myth, the legend, the beast from the East, known as Nick Haag. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great. How's everything going?
It's going well, man. The tour is in full swing, and I had my first taste of National Arena League action, the Cobras and the Sharks, and I got to tell you, man, watching this league and these teams and everything that you guys have done in Carolina and Maine and Massachusetts, it's really something. It's really something special. Like, we're into the thick of this now. What's been your feeling on playing one so close to home and for the National Arena League?
I mean, yeah, obviously playing close to home is obviously, it's such a blessing. I tell everybody that all the time, just to have everybody, be able to come support all the home games and even some of the away games out as far, so they get to make some of those. It's been a true blessing and just something that I really hold close to my heart. And, I appreciate it every day.
Yeah, and you guys have a great squad up there. You guys got nice facility. Everything from the pictures and the broadcast that I've watched looks pretty top notch. I mean, how do you feel being a Pirate?
I mean, I feel great. It's done the right way. From top to bottom. From top of the organization, from our owners. I feel like they're right there, best in the biz. I feel like they work hard every day, and they give a professional athlete everything that they need. So, no complaints then. And then obviously it trickles down right to the coaching staff, which I feel we have the best coaching staff. So, playing for these guys and going to war for them every day is just it's something easy to do because the type of competitors they are as coaches and the work that they're putting in for us and how much they care. So when you have a coaching staff and you have ownership and a whole supporting cast like that, and then obviously to top it off with a great group of guys and a team that's willing to do anything and put each other before themselves, that's really all you can ask for. So that's what we got going on down here in Massachusetts, and we're rocking with it.
Yeah, you guys are one of 3 expansion teams, and like I said, it seems like Maine, Carolina, and you guys really have something special going there. And a lot of what I'm hoping are long-term rivalries. We saw that crazy ending for you guys, the walk-off 2-point conversion. I mean, is that just Amir being Amir, pretty much, in that situation?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, he just, he at that point he just felt, it's better off just go for the win and let's just, try to get this one done and over with. Obviously, we were battling the whole game with those guys. Went to overtime. What a great game. Tip my hat to those guys. Came out and, flew around the whole time and made it really hard on us. So, a great game, fought to the end. That's really all you can ask for. And for us, fortunately, we came out on top and we made a real gutsy call. And like I said, Coach Amir, he's willing to do that and we have his back. I know he's got our back, and I know at the end of the day we trust his decision. It was a great decision, a great play call. Coach Payton does a great job as an offensive coordinator. So that call was there, and it was, the money's on the line, and you got a quarterback, like Sean, and I did tell everybody that kid's got ice water in his veins for sure, and he's ready to take it over. It was his time, and he did that, and we came away with the W.
So I remember whenever you had family members in attendance, especially like your dad, who, if things weren't going right, he was going to suit up and come down on that field himself. But, anytime you had family in those stands, there was like, we got a little extra Nick Haag out there on that field. But now you get them at almost like every home game, and you even said some away games. Like, what has your performance level been like as a whole right now?
I mean, it's obviously every day you can improve. Obviously, I'm happy with how I'm playing right now, but obviously I gotta continue to get better. That's something I strive on every day. I'm never complacent. So obviously plenty of room to grow, but playing here and playing in front of these guys, and I mean, any football game you get up for, it's not that hard, but when you do have a supporting cast like this, and you're able to be home, and the other guys that are so far from home, and you've been in that position before with other teams you've been on, and those guys don't get to get so much support from family members, throughout the season, maybe a couple games or so. So you take that and you say to yourself, hey, these guys don't get to get this every game, and I'm blessed enough to have that. So with that coming, I mean, what I would say is just, I mean, the juices are going, the hair's on the neck, it's not the whole time. There's definitely no letdown, I'll tell you that.
That's awesome, man. Now, I remember the first year of the Empire, Hellwidge was the local boy, and even that was like 5 hours away. But it always seemed like he was a bit more relaxed, because if he needed to go home, it was just a half a day's drive, where you would tell me straight up, you'd be like, man, I got to get home. I need some fast-paced East Coast in me. I got to get back and get to it. So now that you're over there and you play in your backyard half the season, like, what has that done for you physically, mentally? Like, as a player, like, how much of a benefit is it being right there?
Oh, it's such a benefit. Obviously, you got all the resources you grew up with, and all the people around you grew up with. So it's right here, like you said, in your backyard. So you're at home, you're comfortable. The city, the state, obviously really well, and everyone knows you. And it's a blessing to be able to be here too, because you get to then be for the guys who are far from home and guys who don't know much. You get to play that role and contribute to help them, and lead them in the right directions to the good spots around town, and be comfortable. So it's been awesome. No complaints on my end at all, and just wake up every day, it's like, wow, playing professional football right in your backyard. Like I said, it's dream true, and every day I wake up and I thank God for it.
Now, one of your teammates, the fellow Bash brother, Pascal Vacchio, he got himself a little pick six. I mean, the thing was practically gift wrapped for him, but he got it in the end zone for the touchdown. Has Boston finally accepted Squally as one of their own?
Yeah, they've accepted him. I think they've even accepted him before, just because playing with me for different seasons, and obviously being away from home. He's still an East Coast guy, and at the end of the day, he's only a 2.5 hour, 3 hour ride away. So they still have a lot of love for him, and they take him in. Everybody here, I think that's what everybody on this team would tell you, that the guys here and everybody that's around this area, the love out here is real high in the city. They embrace their sports teams, and they expect their sports teams to perform well and do well, which we are. So as long as we keep doing that, we'll get a lot of love. Unfortunately, if you don't do so hot around here, that's the one thing that's not the best, is you're going to hear about it, and your fan love might die down a little bit. So the pressure's always on, but I'd say as a whole, the city's embraced everybody really well, and we're so thankful for the fans and for everybody who's stepped up and helped us out.
Now, this is your first time under Amir as a head coach. Of course, he coached Bloomington last year, and we're talking about a 3-year difference. And of course, nobody's going to know each other better than you guys are that have been with him, since the beginning. What's your evaluation of head coach Amir Ishmael now that you've gotten a chance to see it firsthand?
I mean, he does a great job. I've always I've known from the beginning, from the first couple practices back when I was playing my first pro season out in Cedar Rapids, when he was just the DC. I knew what type of guy he was. I knew the mindset he had, and I knew he knew his stuff, and business was business for him. So as far as being a coach, everything I've expected. It's just funny because as a player, sometimes you see coaches, and everyone has different styles. And the thing about him is he was such a player and such a great player, and he's still young enough to hold that and to carry that in coaching where he's still kind of fresh out the game as much as it sounds. He still understands a lot of things that the players go through, whereas now the coaches don't. But sometimes as they get older and they get disconnected from those ways with the players and that aspect, sometimes it takes a little bit to come back. So with him right now, he's still young and he's still so connected as a player as much as he's a coach in the game. My evaluation of him obviously has been great. I mean, we couldn't be more blessed, happy to have a coach like him. He's he busts his ass 24/7. Everybody knows that about him. He's going to challenge you with his eyes out and get up in your face. That you need, but he's also going to have your back. He's going to be there for you no matter what. I'd say that about this whole coaching staff. We got a tremendous group here. Coach, D coach, the guy had a lot of success playing professional football, and he's coming here and he's worked with the defensive guys so well and DBs, and he even gets helps out with the guys up front, and him and Coach Amir work very well together as far as being able to take things out each other and ricochet. So that's that. And like I said, we have Coach Payton's a phenomenal coach on the outside of the ball. Great to have him. Obviously, I knew with him last year in Spokane what type of a coach he was. So getting to have him come out here, I think that's and the offensive guys love him. And we got Coach Mock on the line. He's a great guy, great coach. He's another one, had success at the professional football level and big time college level too. So he's working hard with the linemen. So as an all around group, as an all around whole, I mean, very thankful, very happy for what we got, and we go to work every day with each other.
Well, there was a lot of guys carried over from the IFL days, from Spokane specifically. I just talked to Bert the other night. He's having a good time with his brother up in Maine, and you guys just played them. And, it's not only the brother that carried over. There was some rivalry that carried over. Carolina is pretty much Wichita Falls 2.0, and you guys had a crack at them. You've played pretty much the entire league at this point. Which team do you think brings out the best version of Nick Haag?
Oof. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one just because I feel like every week I go at every opponent the same way. It's still kind of early to figure that out right now. I'm still, getting used to, all the teams so far as what's going on and all that type of stuff. So right now I'm just attacking them all pretty much the same way and giving everybody all I got.
Fair enough. You guys are sitting atop number one of my weekly power rankings, and deservedly so. You guys had a hell of a performance and a great victory this last week. And, of course, you guys have played really, really well all season and gone above and beyond the expectations I think anyone has of any expansion teams. So congratulations to you guys. And you got me coming over my first time ever in Boston, July 21st, when you guys host the Carolina Cobras, one of the games that I'm probably the most excited about on the whole schedule, and it'll probably mean a lot going into the postseason. So what can I expect coming to shipping up to Boston and being on the East Coast for the first time?
You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna expect a fast pace, expect definitely a lot of accents you're not used to. Besides mine, you have to adjust to that a little bit. It's kind of funny. Some more people are kind of like, oh, so now I understand. More people sound like you. This is kind of funny. So I'm not the only one just kind of out there, but busy. Like I said, the busy life, fast pace, a lot going on. You're gonna get to meet a lot of good people, and on top of it, you're gonna get to see one heck of a football game. You already know that. Two squads, two beasts that will go out there, and all four quarters of football is going to be electric. So you definitely won't be missing. No, you won't be regretting this. Is true.
Yeah, and it's something I'm looking probably most forward to. I know that it's
going to be. Probably got to get some out, maybe some last stuff. There's some food stuff we have to check off the list for you out here. I know. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're as far as. What was interesting you, but we'll have to figure out kind of what way to go about it, and we'll take that and get that fixed up for you.
Well, I know they need to do New England clam chowder, and of course,
that's a fact. I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah, all the other great food that you talked up while you were here. But
yes.
Win, lose, or draw, we need to go out and do some Irish drinking before I fly back home.
I got you.
What's the one thing that you miss the most out of Spokane, though, that you've had some time away?
Oh, man. I mean, I really do. I miss about this so much. I hope they understand, it hurt us as much as it hurt them losing the team and the the franchise. So I do miss everybody out there. The love out there was absolutely tremendous. I was very blessed. Everybody took me in and treated me as their own. I'll never forget any people from out there, and all the great things, everybody did, and the way the community ran. And, you find yourself all the time, just kind of sometimes you think back and you see a different person in your head, or you think, oh, when I did this, or, some different stuff. So there's absolutely no way that I don't ever not come back out there. I just want to let that be known that there will be a trip out there at some point. So, it's definitely another home to me. I feel like, I was only out there for 2 years. Like I said, I felt like family out there, the way everyone took to me. So, I carry that place with a lot of pride. I know I always, you bust people, you say the whole thing, the East Coast, West Coast, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean that wholeheartedly. I feel like that was a second home for me. And I just want to thank the people from Spokane, for everything they've done for me, that organization. And, again, guys like you and just people in that community who have hearts the way they do. It speaks upon that community and something that, is very, very blessing.
I know we miss you a lot over here, and it's always been fun watching you guys play so far this season, because it's kind of like, watching Spokane, but it's, 3 time zones away. But we definitely got to have you and Squally do another round of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, because I feel like there's some unfinished, unsettled business.
Absolutely. And we're going to make sure that this one needs to make there's no way we're going to use those same sets. We need a different set. We already know that my trigger was not working. The guy was not even going to hand. His guy had superpower in him, and it was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could not believe how bad I got cheated on that. We don't want to go back to talking about that, but we will. So I'm glad you brought that up. And that next one's definitely going to be recorded again, and there's going to be more people in the room, because there needs to be people that actually justify what the people look like and make sure each hand works, whatever, the legs, I don't care, whatever levers go on underneath. I need the whole thing scoped out. I need it all scoped out before. I saw you and Squally talking after one of the games before that, and at one of the practices, I believe. It was a little bit shady, so I don't know what was exchanged between you guys, but that's, knowing you, Richard, the same one that Squally won with is probably the same one that you always play against your wife with, and that's why you win. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming that. I'll have to check her. Be sure she wasn't using the same robot as me.
Well, a Rock'em Sock'em conspiracy theory from Nick Haag. It does get any better than that. So we'll end on this, though. I got one more question for you. I saved it till the end because I know I'm going to get a true answer from you. Jimmy Garoppolo, great quarterback or the greatest quarterback?
Well, I'd like to just go off by saying he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Obviously, the move was made and the money was given to him because he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So, I mean, to be a 49er fan right now and to be sitting in your couch, I mean, the way you guys have to be sitting back and grinning and knowing that whatever championships you haven't had in a while, you'll have a lot more. I'm sure. I mean, the writers and the analysts say he's probably due for about 7-8 championships. So, whatever, like I said, me personally, I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I know all the analysts do. I know all the 49ers fans do too. And people out here in Massachusetts are just devastated. Every day we're devastated not to have Jimmy G as our leader,
Oh, man, I knew I would get the most sincere, heartfelt answer from you.
No, I'm just busting, but no, I know you guys are excited about getting out there, so we'll see what he's about.
Yeah, we certainly will, man.
I just know New England is absolutely not taken back or heartbroken one bit. So, I mean, I know you guys are happy, and I'm sure you guys are just ready for this season, huh?
Very, very much ready, but not ready enough that we want the NAL season or the IFL season to wrap up just yet. We got plenty more football. And, man, I tell you, dream championship, just from looking at some of these matchups, got to be, you guys in Carolina. So, I mean, we'll see how the season shapes up, but keep playing the way Nick Haag knows how to play, man, 110%, and I'll see you in July. But, of course, I'll talk to you before then. But, hey, man, thanks as always for taking the time, and you have a great night, and tell the rest of the guys I said hey.
Absolutely. Well, Richard, always, man. It's a pleasure, man. You know that, family, and we'll be chatting to you soon. Go Pirates, and hey, enjoy the night. God bless always, my man.
All right. Take care, Nick.
Take care, boss.
And once again, that was the man himself, Nick Haag. Always a great time talking with him. And we're going to go right to commercial and bring back my last guest of the night. We'll be right back with more of The Fan Show.
You're listening to The Fan Show, your home for all things football and nonsense. My special guest tonight, Farouk. Farouk, welcome.
He's no expert, but here's the thing. Football and nonsense is what he brings. Sports talk with a twist. It's The Fan Show!
Do you know him as Kevin from the League? It is none other than very funny Steve Ranazisi.
99% of the population doesn't know who I am, but the 1% do. They yell and scream inappropriate things at me in public.
Kyle Ray. Kyle, welcome.
And I was like, wow, I think we just saw the whole Super Bowl, Phyllis. It's like that scene in The Simpsons. Like, why rent the movie? I just saw the best part.
Funny man Brad Williams.
Yeah, I'm here. No, I flew in just for your podcast. I've heard about this podcast. I've heard it's fantastic.
It's Mac and Farva, but they are my special guests tonight. Steve Lemmy, Kevin Heffernan.
I was in Mexico for 10 weeks in a Speedo. Like, that was me going to work. I was putting on a Speedo.
Farva is the most fun to play, and it was a blast to do that again, to do Farva again.
So then the makeup artist had to put Vaseline on your body, right?
Yeah.
And then put the powdered sugar on top of that. Is your name really Richard Siemens?
Listen live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night on Spreaker.com or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. As promised, a third final surprise guest of the evening. Get your best fedora, put on your suit, your blue suede shoes, and get ready to skank your pants off. It's Kyle Bradshaw of 10 Minutes Down. How you doing, Kyle?
Oh, I'm doing great. And now for something completely different, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Professional athletes to an aspiring, recovering, unpaid, semi-amateur musician.
Hey, you know, we welcome all shapes and sizes, all career paths and aspirations here on the Fan Show. But, you know, it's the variety that I love, and I know that you guys were such a big part of my musical influences. You and I were talking last night, and I said, you know, believe it or not, you guys were my first ska album. I didn't even know what ska was until I was out in Liberty Lake one weekend, and just golf carts galore. And there's these guys up there with trombones, trumpets, and playing along.
That's
and it's
right.
And it's just rocking. And you guys have just released the Manhattan Project, and I bought the CD, and I met Sam and Mike, and I mean the rest, as they say, is history. But you guys, of course, there are more members of 10 Minutes Down than there are actually in the band at one time. You guys decided to call it quits, but that didn't mean it was goodbye forever. It was just see you later. And so now we get the later with another reunion show. But how hard is it to put one of these together?
So it's not easy. It's one of those things that, you know, well, we've had other opportunities or other whims to do it, and then thought about the work and said, nah, maybe not. So I guess to put it another way, if it were entirely up to us, it probably would never happen.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just to be totally blunt, but honestly, when the right people ask, when the right opportunity comes up, we all get this little twinkle in our eyes, and we're like, all right, okay, this is going to be a lot of work, and this could be a complete goat rodeo, but, you know, why not try it? And so that was the case with this one. This started in Las Vegas in October, at a conversation over a couple of beers with my buddy Haas, who's in Franks and Dean's, and he laid it out. He channeled my Catholic mother and just laid on this like guilt trip thing, and it worked.
Wow. So guilt trip is all it takes, because I tell you, I've got a few guilt trips stored up for a rainy day. But you guys, you know, you're never too old for this stuff. I mean, we see the Rolling Stones and Journey, whoever their front man is at the time. You know, they go around, they tour, they play, they have fun, and that's the bottom line. You know, ska music. When I interviewed Real Big Fish, I think it was a year ago now, and they were just talking about how, you know, I don't think anybody tours like they do, where it's just like a constant circuit going, and
they're relentless.
They are. It's incredible, and they're just like, we just have fun, man. Like, that's what we're doing. And yeah, I mean, some people might think we get tired of playing like some of the same songs, but it's like, we wrote them, we like them, so why not?
I'll tell you what, the playing, and this sounds very obvious, but the playing of a live show is hands down the best part of being in a band. That's why you exist.
Yeah.
It's when you allow a lot of the other logistical items and all of that that work to weigh on you, and that's when the whole thing starts to feel like work. And that's a little bit of what putting together, any show is a reminder of, but then putting together a reunion show with all of the ramp up of varying degrees of musical fitness, let's say, that adds another layer onto it. And then for us geographically, we're dispersed across Portland, Spokane, and Seattle. So literally the first time that we will all get together in the same area to play music together in 6.5 years will be about an hour and a half before doors tomorrow.
Wow.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. I know I was talking with Ted too last night about how he's just like, this is the first time I think ever that I just get to show up and play. And I was just like, hey, enjoy it. But it might be the only
you're
time.
Welcome, Ted. You're freaking welcome. That makes me sound like I actually did work on this one. I didn't do too much on this. Franks and Dean's has got a great agent, put it all together, and he's been very accommodating, and actually accommodated our ask to put our buddies Poor Sport on the lineup too. So super, super happy to have them on. They're going to be first, us second, and then Monkey, and then Franks and Dean's. So we're like the crappy Oreo cream middle of an otherwise amazing punk ska sandwich.
Well, hey, another thing, so history lesson. I mean, back in the 10 Minutes Down glory days, you went out to shows on the weekend just to be at a show, just to get out of school, out of the classroom, out of your parents' house. You didn't care what time the set was. You didn't care who was playing. You just went, you paid to get in, and then you had a good time. And that has changed so much, and it's so sad because when I would play shows, I had friends texting me. Now, of course, there's certain exceptions and circumstances to everything, but they're just like, when's your set? I want to, I only have time to just be there for you. And it's like, well, there's multiple bands on this bill, come out and have a good time. You don't need to be buried in your phone the whole show. But I remember for you guys, though, so saw you at Liberty Lake, got the Manhattan Project. And I think I had all you guys sign it at the time, too. It's around here somewhere because I love my jewel cases. I really do. And so then I was at the farewell show, which was at the Big Easy, or no, I think it was the Knitting Factory then, or was it still the Big Easy? Not sure.
It was the Big Easy. Yep,
okay.
I've got the poster up on my office wall.
Big Easy. I recorded the whole thing, gave the tapes to Ted, and he said, yeah, we're going to put together like a special DVD. Never did it. Hasn't done it. I mean, I'm giving him slightly benefit of the doubt that maybe he's still working on it. But
that sounds about right for Ted. I've met him.
There was an after party, and then Ted educates us all on why you don't pass out with your shoes on at parties. And then
that's a rule.
Yep, I've gotten to know Mike and you, and I remember the big discussion about how there's like two different eras with 10 Minutes Down. There's the Donnie Daytona, and then the Sam era is kind of like the split. But you guys have always been around. Pig Out at the Park I missed, but there was the rumor that was going to be your guys' new thing, that you were going to play Pig Out every year. But it was just the 1 year. Has that resurfaced? Like, is that your ideal kind of setup where you can at least mark your calendar far enough in advance and go out and have a good time once a year?
Yeah, the Pig Out thing was a big enough opportunity to drag us back out of the basement. So, it sounds a little bit like shameless plug, but yeah, those sorts of things I think get us off our butts and thinking about it. I don't recall Pig Out asking us again, which may speak volumes to how well we represented ourselves in 2011. I will say that there's one particular memory about that show that stands out, which is, it was my first show in years. I played the final 10 minutes of the show. I played about half of that set for the men's final show a couple days after I left. But I remember the middle of the first song, I'm playing, and I've got my Heart Key bass rig, which I've toured with, both coasts, played probably well over 1,000, 1,500 shows. I've had it in college. I mean, it's been around. It's seen some things. Middle of the first song, I hear a funny noise, and I look over in the horn section. Because, by the way, we brought out every damn horn player we had. There were probably 8 of them on that left side of the stage. They all disappear in a cloud of smoke as the sound stops.
Wow.
And my trusty bass amp of all those years self-immolated in the middle of the first song of that show in Pig Out. And I got to say a shout-out to any audio engineer, any sound tech, any stagehand out there, because the guys that we had, Bob LeVan, Sudi, and the rest of their gang, they knew us, they knew me. And by the end of that song, and so it's 10 minutes down song, so it's like 3 minutes long. So in about a minute and a half, they had me sorted with a DI box. I was running a wireless, and then they ran me like a 40-foot patch cable and had it piped back to the monitors. It basically had a last-minute rigged bass amp running for me in about 90 seconds. And then we finished the show that way.
Wow.
And so when the time came around, I was like, okay, so I have to go find an amp. Because I literally cracked the case on the bass in November to say, I guess this is happening, and I looked down at it. And the invoice from my guitar tech, who went through the bass after the show in 2011, that invoice was between the strings on the bass because it had never been touched.
Wow.
It was like the Ark of the Covenant, the Indiana Jones being opened up.
Well, a couple more questions for you that I saved for this portion. One is that the art of the mashup has kind of evolved over the years, but is it too far-fetched to say that you guys are the originators of the mashup? Because you guys have what I refer to as the sweet home of every great, not great song you didn't know that you loved to hate. That you guys did at so many shows, and it was just such a great time, because at one point I'm wondering like how many more medleys you're going to throw in there, and then in another I'm like, I never want this song to stop. Like, I keep going. Fresh Prince, yeah, let's do it. My Humps, oh hell yeah, we added a new one. Like, where did that even come from?
So first off, I gotta say it's not unfair to say that we invented it, but I'm gonna add some qualifiers. We invented the 80s rap mashup for Eastern Washington. I will say that definitively. From Ellensburg East, I'd say that's safely, that was us. Trailblazers that way. But no, you know what it came from? It was we were joking around in band practice, and at every show there's always some jackwagon. Even at our shows, it would yell "Freebird!" and Nate, our guitar player at the time, could actually play Freebird, and so he'd bust out like the first little blip of it while we were getting ready for the next song or whatever. And it was like, haha, very funny. And one time I said, I think it was me, I know I'm taking credit for it. One of us said, you know what would be funny is if someone does that next time and we bust out like Sweet Home Alabama and did a ska version. And then we thought about it for 5 seconds and thought, that sounds like work, so no way. And then we realized if we just played the hook, we could probably just rap over it, because the hook is 3 chords.
Yeah.
And so we thought it might be a fun little time filler or something. We were doing shows at Thirsties at the time, and we were doing a Friday night, and I want to say that we were contractually obligated for 5 hours of music. And we don't have 5 hours of music even when we play the set twice. So we thought, man, that'd be a fun little way to throw another 4 or 5 minutes in there, because you can, as you mentioned, you can have a million permutations of little raps, little ditties in the middle.
Yeah.
So we've done, there's a YouTube video of the Pig Out in the Park show back in 2011, where Bill Weeks, our trumpet player, does a blistering version of Baby Got Back. It's the whitest sounding version of Baby Got Back you will ever hear in your life, and it makes me happy every time I see it. So yeah, I mean, we've literally, everyone in the band has had at least one go at a song. We've done change-ups. We throw a Tootsie Roll by 69 Boys in there. Switch the guitar riff from Sweet Home Alabama to Back in Black by AC/DC, and then back again. You name it, we'll do it. We've got no pride. And there's something about that late 80s, early 90s era of rap that is very kind of just poppy and funny and silly, and works itself well into just typically our style of music and how we approach things.
Well, it is tomorrow night. Is it doors at 7, show is at 8, or is it the doors at 6, shows at 7?
No, doors at 7, show at 8.
Okay, so I'm going to do my best to be there. Leave me a ticket at Will Call if I can make it over, because I'm gonna I'm serious about this. I'm gonna make this because I was out of town for Pig Out. I think I was in Seattle for Pig Out, ironically enough.
Oh, jeez.
And then I want to say that there was a backyard barbecue that I couldn't make, but that was kind of last minute. So I want to be at this one. I'm going to try to. What's the venue? How can people find you guys this weekend in Seattle?
We're playing at the Fun House, which is the place you used to go to when you were at El Corazon for peace and quiet. And they decided that apparently was unacceptable, so it's now its own separate music venue. So, we got 4 bands. We have 3 great bands and us. I got to give a shout out to Monkey. These guys are the real deal. They have been touring and playing since the mid '90s, and just never stopped. And the guys in Franks and Deans, Haas and Samson in particular, were in bands that we played with in Boise back in the day, and those guys have never stopped. And now they are in a band together. Haas was in Switch Hitter, Samson was the lead singer of the Percolators, and now they're in a band together with two other fantastic musicians and a touring burlesque dancer, spanning country. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just go to El Corazon Park and then go in the little door on the right. You'll find us.
Hey, fair enough. I've been there enough times. I know what you're talking about. It's going to be weird cramming all you guys in there, but I'm sure they'll make it work. Sure they'll make it fun. I was talking
We've played smaller stages.
Yep. I talked to Ryan Levy, see if he wanted to go with me tomorrow, but he's at work. But he runs monumental shows in Spokane, was a big contributor to the scene for years. And he's like, when you talk to him, you tell him that Monumental wants to book a 10 Minutes Down show in Spokane. And I'm friends with Andy Rumsey. He's the one that wrote the show's theme song that you hear at the beginning of the show. And I said, I want a Man of Action reunion. So if we can get that to happen, or maybe just you guys, but I'll throw it out there. None of this is true, but I feel like saying that Ryan has a terminal illness and this is his Make-A-Wish might just drive home getting 10 Minutes Down back in Spokane for one more hurrah.
Well, I have to say that we did have a couple opportunities that were close for a Spokane show because we wanted to kind of double our money or double our fun, I guess, do a Seattle and a Spokane show. And because of logistics, because ska band, because 7 freaking people, we just weren't able to stitch it all together. And I will speak only for myself here and say that there's a strong desire to do something, ideally in all ages. Type of thing in Spokane.
You can do that.
We've all got kids, and basically none of them have seen us play unless they were like 2 years old at Pig Out. So
let's do it. We got to get
that would be a hell of a lot of fun. So if people have an interesting opportunity that they want to run past us, here I'm fishing for gigs on the radio, but we're on the Facebook, which is hilarious to say because when we stopped being a band, Facebook wasn't a thing.
It was MySpace. Yeah.
Yes, it was. We had a MySpace page. I don't know if that still exists. I have to go find that. I never had the password.
I think
for that.
Find My Way was one of my songs for a while, which I didn't realize until an after party when Nate played the acoustic version was such an actually like mind-blowing, depressing song of like realization and self-awareness because it was always like such a fun song for me when I heard it in the full band, but then he plays it on his acoustic guitar and I'm just like, it can't be, and then he starts singing it and I'm like, wow.
That's Nate in a nutshell. It's brutal honesty and the ability to flip it on its ear and make something that sounds like pure joy while still being very honest and sad.
Yeah, the acoustic version is what you would hear at that moment in like an American Pie movie where they're just like, oh, we all got in a fight, but now we're going to come back together and be friends. Where like the live version where you guys are in full band is like what you hear in the opening credits of like an American Pie movie, right? So that's where those are.
Yeah, it's true. That's been one of the fun things about this band is even though we've had a revolving door of drummers up until Cinco, which, by the way, we call him Cinco because we stopped learning the names of our drummers, and he was the 5th one. He just happened to stick. But the great part about this band is the number of people who contributed to songs and songwriters and the number of amazing songs that we were able to knock off or lift into the Wu-Tang medley or do full-blown studio covers of, like, the Bon Jovi cover and that sort of thing. So that's a lot of fun. We took our covers very seriously, arguably more so than the originals. And, we did a show at Gonzaga where, again, we didn't have enough material. And so we filled another hour and 15 minutes with nothing but 80s songs, but done our style. And that's kind of where the genesis for a lot of the covers that we play, the 80s covers that we play regularly at shows came from, is that we played like 10 of them and 1 or 2 didn't suck. So then we repeated.
Yeah, I think Every Rose Has Its Thorn is one of them that's on one of your guys' albums. But
yep, it's on Buckle Up.
Oh, buckle up. Such a good one, too. But Kyle, thank you. Like I said, I'm going to do my damnedest to be over there tomorrow night. So it looks like a decent chance. I'm going to say 60% good that I will be there. But regardless, please have a blast. Have fun. I will let Ryan know that despite his terminal illness and his Make-A-Wish, that you might just consider bringing 10 minutes down to Spokane.
That is shameless. That sounds great.
All right. Well, enjoy. I hope you guys get enough of a mini session in before the show, but we went over the time tonight on mine, and I don't care, so you guys have a great one tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you there, all right?
That sounds awesome. Safe travels. I really hope to see you tomorrow.
All right. Take care, Kyle.
Take it easy.
And that's our show, folks. That's going to do it for this Thursday. We're about 12 minutes over, but like I said, I don't care because it's my show, and I can do that whenever the F I feel like it. So I did forget to do the WBLZ sports commercial, so don't forget to go and download their app, which you can catch replays of the Fan Show the day after they air every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, and maybe even a few more times over the weekend. But they've got a great variety, great lineup of shows, including the 8-Bit Bros and the Legacy Maker Sports Podcast, just to name a few. But you can find me, iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, for all of you podcasters out there that can't listen live. But if you can, Spreaker.com/user/TheFanShow or TheFanShow.com, listen live. And you can find me on all the major social media platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, Snapchat. Sorry for all the cat pictures, but hey, Fozzie is cute and adorable, and I want to share him with the world. So, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to all of my guests, all of you listening through this extended edition of The Fan Show. Best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and remember, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night, folks.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the Fan Show.